Hello and welcome to Mama T Energy. I'm Tiara, aka Mama T, and I invite you on a journey to loving your life through stories, channeled messages, and energy work. I love life, and it is my mission to guide you and millions like us to discovering our passion for life. Let's open our hearts and dive in. Today, we have special guest Cindy Stal, the queen of embodiment. She is a mom, author, self built seven-figure CEO who focuses on powerful leadership while staying soft in your body and in your feminine. With her business, she empowers women, especially entrepreneurs, to reclaim their intuitive and sexual power. This results in conversations about money, intuitive leadership, and feeling free, safe, and embodied in your vision. Cindy, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me and the
Yes.
introduction. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So it's been a couple of months since we've actually chatted on a podcast before. So can you give us an update? What's been going on in your life?
Yeah, I just thought about that before we started. And I think the last time that I spoke to you, I was still in Portugal. We were still living in Portugal, and now we are back in the Netherlands, and it feels like, yeah, almost like a next life, and it's still like same life, you know? It doesn't make any sense. So much has happened in between, and it feels like it's a totally different life.
I love it. That is so exciting. Can you talk about I guess, in making such a big change, right? You're moving like to a different country. How do you handle that in a feminine and embodied way? I know for myself, like I've considered leaving the US before, but it's like in my mind, I'm like, well, how can I do that? Like I don't even know the rules, like all that kind of stuff. And so how can we really soften and be in a state of like, yeah, I can totally go anywhere in the world and create this new life?
Yeah. First of all, I think you can do anything if you want to, and if it's aligned, and yeah, if it's on your path, then you can do anything. And for me, we started traveling because I wanted to take my son out of the school system, which is not that easy in the Netherlands. And traveling for a year was like a way to make it happen in a way that's not really how you're supposed to do it. Um, and I really had to focus on myself and
Mhm.
be really intentional with my time and my energy because traveling wasn't always easy. Different energies, all kind of different Airbnbs, some really interesting energy wise. So it learned us also a lot about entity work, energy work. I will not go into all of it, but it was really about focusing on myself, my rituals, really knowing what is good for me, and taking the time to anchor.
Mm.
And I think that you, at least that's how it was for me. That if you feel called to go to a specific country, then go and experience and yeah, really let your body also really feel into all of the things. And I also know that each and every one of us, of my family, was called back to the Netherlands and then rooting here again. That also felt really special, you know, because this is our country, at least for now. And yeah, I think it was like the roots called us back, and that felt really special in the body.
Mm. I love that. I love like really leaning into the body and listening and kind of just like following that pull. So in that like getting into the body, I know that you've released a new deck called the Pussy Oracle deck. So can you tell us about that and like what inspired this deck?
I once had a download a couple of years ago. That download was called the Pussy Oracle, and I created an online program with it, knowing that it would be more going forward. But it took me quite some time to know exactly what it was until it came back, and that was in the pregnancy of my daughter, and then I channeled. the deck, and it really felt I was ready to really embody that energy. You know, I was like the chicken on the eggs, really in my soft feminine energy. And her pregnancy invited us constantly to reclaim our own power. What is our knowing? What is our intuitive knowing? What do I want to say from power? How can I speak from my power? How can I reclaim my power in a hospital? You know, when everyone says this and this, and you feel something different. Um, yeah, and after yeah, I don't know if I shared about that on the last episode, but our daughter was stillborn at 41 weeks, so that was a totally different expectation, of course, than we thought, which also initiated a deep grief portal, and then also, yeah, asked me and invited me to reclaim my power in a totally different way, step back into business again, and connect with this deck in a new way because I had the outline of all of the cards and some notes, but not all the channelings, not the transmissions, all of them. But I think if I look back, every step, everything that happened just deepened the wisdom of this oracle deck. And I knew that I didn't just want to create a deck. I wanted something that if women receive it, they actually feel the energy and that it's not like, hey, these are cards, static cards, like, okay, thank you, let's go work with it. You know, I wanted it that if a woman, if this is the only thing, the only chance that I have for a woman to experience my medicine, who I am and what I want to bring, with respect to the entity of this deck, of course, as well, who has her own energy, then I wanted it to be that special. And it's amazing to see that women really gift me back some of the intentions that are written that I wrote in my journal. So yeah, that feels really special.
I love that. So, is this your first deck that you've created?
Yeah, I have some in yeah, in my creative space, but this is the first one that opens the doors. Yeah.
I love that. And I love the story and the connection with your feminine journey and the different aspects, right? Because we experience so many different things in life and it calls us into a deepening of ourselves and who we want to be versus who we are. And I've been playing with the deck since I've received it. And the imagery is so beautiful and profound. So, can you talk about the artwork?
Yeah. Yeah, Rose the Bell created the art deck, the artwork for the deck. And she, yeah, I think she's really amazing in connecting with this energy in specific, with the pussy energy, with the feminine, with the fierce feminine, rising feminine. So I think she has done an amazing job. And just by seeing people, yeah, having the first vision, the first visual that they see, it's already like it's everything just in one vision. And I truly believe that she has done an amazing job for each card, yeah, to really get the vision that I had. Because yeah, you and me, we are energy workers. We have a vision. We are not creators. We are, yeah, at least let's speak for myself. I was never able to create something like this, you know, in a visual image. And I think the combination of a card where people can find even more, they can make their own they can do something with it for themselves. Let's keep it at that. And I think, yeah, I think that's really special.
That is really special. So, when it comes to channeling, creating a deck, is it for you, does it come in imagery at all, or is it more like this is like the energy, the frequency, the words? Like, what does that kind of look like for you?
Yeah, I see it as She is her own entity, almost like a person to me.
Mm,
I always give, I do this with online programs as well. I give them a place in my home. It can be as easy as with a paper, but I really make it like, hey, she has a place in my home and not just in my energy. Um, and then I give it time. And sometimes some of the cards spoke with really like, this is the card, this is it. And some were just like key elements. Some was a feeling, almost like a smell. And then I had my card transmission, of course, but the image would then have more been like a color or the empowerment behind it. This is the message. What do I want people to see and feel?
mm, yes. Can you speak more about the transmission for those who might not have seen the deck and know kind of how the book's laid out? Can you speak about how it's broken down?
In the booklet, you mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, each card comes with a transmission that I channeled. And then the transmission has extra affirmations that I wanted. I once had a booklet of a card deck because most of the booklets I don't even open. And I once bought a deck, and then I thought that booklet, I looked in it and I went in even without picking a card. And that's what I wanted for this booklet. That even if you think I'm really low in my energy or I'm in this up level and I just want some extra inspiration, or I want new affirmations, or I want to do a practice and I don't want to overcomplicate it because I think the practices that are in the booklet are all really easy and almost like you can do them in 5 minutes. And that's the
Hmm.
work that I teach. And that's how I wanted the booklet to be, to not just, hey, here's a transmission, but to really have affirmations that go with the card so that you can be with these affirmations during your day or during the week or however you see your card. And then have a specific embodiment practice with it so that it's not a mind thing or, hey, I pulled an oracle card and I put it on my altar and that's it. No, to really embody it. I think that's my
Mm,
work, that's my medicine. And that's what I wanted for each card to be in the deck. And if you only buy the deck, then I think you have so much. You have your guidance, but you also have so many affirmations, and you have 44 feminine embodiment practices that you can work with and that you can do your own sacred practice, sacred rituals, and guidance through the portal that you are working with at that moment.
mm. It's pure magic. It is definitely medicine. And I think embodiment is so, so important. Literally was doing like a full activation ceremony bodywork thing yesterday with a client, and we had this conversation about the importance of embodiment and integration and allowing these things, these concepts that we are discussing on an intellectual level to really settle in into our being so that we can really ground in, because the conversation was talking about, like, all right, well, I believe this, but my actions are over here and this is over here, and we're all scattered. And embodiment is that bringing it all together and bringing it in so it becomes your internal being, your knowing, and what you act from. So it's very, very important that we, like you said, we don't just like look at the card and put it on our altar and be like, woo, we had this really nice saying today and it feels fun and free. But like, can we truly be the teachings, the medicine that's coming from the card?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
because that's
yes.
the only thing that works. Otherwise, it will just be a card with another message. And yeah, tomorrow we pull another card and that's it.
Yeah, and you just kind of repeat the same cycle over and over and over again. So,
Yeah.
as the embodiment queen, can you share a definition of embodiment?
Um, to me, that means practice what you preach, and then in a way that if you sit at the dinner table at the end of the day and your children look at you that they don't think, oh, interesting. My mom says this on Facebook, and this is the version that we get on at the dinner table. That's how I always felt when my oldest son, when we were still the two of us, as I built my business. And I always wondered, like, I will, I had the intention that I want to be the mom who not just says things, but he knows, like, this is my mom. And when years from here, years later, when we sit on the park bench together, that he can say, "Yeah, mom, you rocked it on socials, but you were even more amazing in real life." Because I think that's embodiment to me. And it's really easy to show up on social media and act like someone. But intuitive women, and I think that's the same for you, for your clients, I can't come from that, like, sprinkle all this gold and glitter, and my clients and potential clients will feel like, okay, nice, she's doing something, she's giving a show, but it's not real. They
Mhm.
feel it. And that's what the world needs, and especially the next generations, our children, but also our clients. And I never wanted to be the woman who was in a session and then afterwards was like, okay, interesting, but I feel this hole in my heart, and my bank account says this and this and this, and it hurts, and I yell at the children or whatever. And not to judge, because in up levels we can all have moments like this, but intention to be the embodiment of her as you are becoming her, yeah, it's everything. Because then you are already the embodiment and are just on your way and taking the steps and getting there. So that's what
Beautiful.
embodiment is for me.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much. It's so beautiful and so spot on. It's the being, right?
Yeah.
And I love I want my son to see the version of me that I put on Facebook in real life and make it even better. That like really like hit home. And that's so true. We, especially in such a social media driven world, a lot of times I like to say we see the highlight reel of people's lives. Like people are posting, most of the time it's what's fun thing, luxurious thing that they're doing. And I love the phrase life is ritual, right? And so like, can we make sure that what we're showing on socials is also in alignment with what we're living in life? Like, is it like, oh, like I like that when I create content, I like to take it as like, this is a piece of like my life today. Like, this is a little video of what I'm doing, but I am continuing what I'm doing and being present in what I'm doing and just taking a snapshot and moving forward, right? And so I can continue to hold that energy and that frequency and let it expand and grow through my day to day. And then it's also felt through my clients. And I think that also when we really lean into that embodiment of whatever it is that we're, whether it's like the divine feminine, the divine masculine, or somewhere in between, like whatever it is that we are choosing for ourselves to be, that it is the version of ourselves that we desire, that it is something that fills our cup. The more that we show up in that being, the more that we can expand our energy, the more that we are able to be of service in whatever ways that it is in our power to serve, because we are coming from a place that is truly authentic and loving and full. So I
Yeah.
love
And
that.
full, especially the and full, because I think that's what people feel. It's empty. You see it in people's eyes, or you see it. That's always what hurts me the most, is when you see a picture and then you see it in the children's eyes. And I think you can fake it all the way you want, but I see it in your children's eyes that it's not real. And I always believe that we are the generation that's not here for just us. We can have an amazing life. I'm all for pleasure in life and having your most amazing life. But I think that we are women who are, yeah, almost like the womb for the next generation, and not just to birth them, but really, yeah, create the lives for them so that they don't have to do all of the stuff that we now have to do, which is no judgment to all the lineage before us, because everyone does what they could do. But we have a privilege in the era that we live in, and we should honor that and step into our power and really show up like that. And if it's difficult, you have to do it as well. So
Mhm.
that's embodiment to me.
Yes. Ah, I love it. I love it. I love it. So at this time, I feel called to pull a card. So I'm going to pull a card from the beautiful Pussy Oracle deck that we've been talking about. Look at if you are um, watching or listening on a visual aspect, definitely take a look at the screen and see this amazing artwork. You could just like feel the divine feminine energy coming out of this deck. I love like the box is so beautifully made and curated. I love the book, like kind of going back to like what Cindy said. I'm kind of the reader that tends to not go to the book, but whenever I have an opportunity to really know the creator, I definitely take the time to take a look. And I love the description of the card as well as the like affirmations and the transmissions, the embodiment work. It's so beautiful and detailed and high quality. So I definitely will drop a link in the description notes. So if this is something that you want to add to your own collection of cards, or maybe this might be the first deck, I think it's a great deck for anybody. So if you've never had a deck before, this is something that's very easy to pick up and learn. You don't have to like memorize any of the cards. It gives you everything that you need up front. And I do want to share that when you open the book, the box, there are some words on the inside. So on the top, or yes, on the top here, there is the moment you connect your heart with your pussy is the moment you reclaim your power, which is just allow that to integrate. I'll repeat it. The moment you connect your heart with your pussy is the moment you reclaim your power. And at the bottom of the deck is I break all spells that keep me asleep to my own magic. So there's just already power, and we haven't even gotten to the cards, which I love. So let's get us a card, a message for this moment. Whenever you're listening, watching, this is a message for you and your experience. Mm. The card is no, no, wait, take more time. So, for those of you who might have had a yes or no question on your mind as I pulled a card, here's your answer. It's a no. And there's nothing wrong with no, because it no, especially if you like feel like, but I desire this thing right now. How dare you say no to me? It's not so much a you can never do it, right? It's a not right now. It's a wait. Let it integrate. Let it be embodied before we create. So this is kind of funny because I'm in the process of creating a new membership and all these other things. And the day that I literally had a dream that like it really channeled through my dream. A lot of things come through my dreams of this membership. And that morning I woke up and I pulled from this deck and the same card showed up. And I was like, no. And then I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Right. I'm not like, I had the dream. It doesn't mean that I have to like create content right now and start talking about it. No, I can allow space to wait, give it more time to like really marinate, right? Like when we talk about food and we're seasoning the food, right? If you can throw your seasoning on the meat and then throw it on the grill immediately or whatever, but if you allow time and space for it to marinate, then the spices get into the meat, right? They really integrate, and then it gets even more tender and juicy and more delicious, right? And so that's the meaning of the no, right? That's where that power is, just letting it marinate. That's the perfect word for it. So I'm going to go to the booklet as well and see what's shared there. And I love that it is in alphabetical order. So there's no like having to search all over the place. Like, just know your ABCs. All right. So for this card, it says, this world praises the fast pace, lots of results, and keeping yourself busy. It's the same world that creates burnout and hustle. This card either is your sign to wait till there is more clarity, or it's your clear no. Your pussy knows, and sometimes you just need more time. Time to digest, time to relax, time to land into deeper embodiment. There's no shame in the zone in between. The space where you don't have all the answers yet. How do you hold space for your desires? Do you trust yourself and your desires when on the surface it feels like nothing is happening? A moment of pause is also a beautiful moment to connect deeper. This card is your permission to slip, to honor your no and your not knowing it all yet. Have faith, be more patient, and trust the mystery of life. In the meantime, slow down and just rest. See the beauty and find more pleasure in this season of your life. Trust that everything is always perfectly orchestrated when you look back. You are on track. Don't overthink it and open your heart. Sometimes not knowing it all yet is the highest alignment and a portal to deepen your trust and intuitive gifts. Hands off and let it unfold so much better than you could have ever imagined.
Mm.
And yes, so powerful. And the affirmation is, I honor my no. It's safe for me to take more time. I trust the unknown. I know things will unfold so much better than I could ever imagine. I trust myself. That's a powerful affirmation. I say that quite regularly. I trust myself.
Yeah.
And the
And
trans,
trust yourself in the space in between, which is exactly the feminine medicine, I think.
oh yeah. And it's such a like that space in between. There's like so many lessons that come there. It's juicy, right? It's the marinating, it's the tenderizing, it's the creation of the deliciousness, the luxury on all of that. And so we can get to luxuriate in that moment, right? I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm like envisioning like eating grapes on a lounge chair and that kind of thing, like allowing that space for yourself. Because in that time, in that silence, in that moment, we get more and more information. And in the divine feminine, we end up channeling it. There's so much that comes in that in between. And it's so true that we live in a world that's like, hey, we have to post now, we have to do this, we have to do this. But what if we step back and that has been my practice over the last couple of months. I used to grind and post like two podcast episodes a week, and then I backed it up to one, and now it's kind of like, maybe I post this week, maybe I don't post next week, and allowing that spaciousness and I trust that I've created so much content that people will still find me if I don't post an episode this week, or I'm still posting my stories pretty regularly. Maybe I don't post a reel, whatever. There's
Yeah.
creation time, right? And that allows for us to be even more authentic, even more real, rather than like just churning things out. It gets us out of that putting the card on the altar mentality and actually giving us space to embody, as we were saying.
Yeah. And I think also letting the energies work for you, which is really the feminine and not just like do, do, do. And that's what all the social media almost lets us get addicted to.
Mm-hmm.
But all these creations, even though during my pregnancy of my daughter, I did almost nothing, like months, I went off of social media and I still got clients because people can feel us. And especially, I think if you work with soulmate clients, let them find you in their timing, not yours. yeah, it gets to be yours. If it's their perfect timing, it's yours as well. But yeah, really let your creations work for you and not be so in the, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that. And when the first hit, what you just said with your dream, and then we have to do something with it. No, you let it marinate. I think everyone will remember the meat on the on the grill. At least I do. I will. And that's exactly how it is.
Oh, yes. Right. And so in the no, the transmission is take a moment to shake it all off. Don't overthink. Just shake your arms and legs and everything in between. Keep shaking your body till you feel the energy shift. Place one hand on your heart, the other on your pussy, and feel the aliveness of it all. Tap into that deep sense of safety in your own body. It's always there for you to tap into. This is your home. Mm. I love that somatic movement too. Yeah, such a great practice. Like shaking it all off. Great to do. Even it brings to mind back when I lived in Virginia, there were deer everywhere, especially during hunting season, and they run out into the roads. And so, like, if you've ever been driving down a road and a deer hops out in front of your car, it's quite terrifying experience for all involved. And but if you see it, if you stop just in time, the deer might like look at you in your car and then it jumps to the other side of the road and then it shakes its entire body, like its legs, its head, whatever, it shakes. And then it kind of just looks like everything's back to normal and it goes off and flits to the, into the field. And that's what it is. It's moving, it's shaking that energy, getting that fear, that fight or flight out of their system so that they can go back to being at like a regulating their nervous system, to being back at their ground zero and able to continue to move. And we as humans have the opportunity to do the same thing. And I feel like that's kind of been trained out of us, and getting
Yeah.
back into that fast pace. We don't even have time to shake it off. It's like, oh, we got yelled at by our boss and now we have to do this project all over again. And there's like, blah, 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 blah. No, wait.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. I love it. So beautiful. Such a beautiful message. Thank you so much for being with us today, Cindy. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we exit for today?
I think the most important thing is that this world disconnected women's heart and pussy, and that's why I wanted it in the box. The moment you open it, you will see it. And take the time to really connect your heart with your pussy. Because if your pussy is so open and you reclaim the word and da 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 da, but your heart is not open, then all of these desires come from a guarded body, from heart, masculine energy. Even though we say pussy, 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 it will still be unhealed energy. And it's the same with all these women who have such a big heart and the heart is always open. But if the pussy is disconnected, numb, and yeah, almost filthy, as if someone made it something that you don't even look at yourself. Look at your pussy every now and then in the mirror, ask her what she wants. But if you have an open heart that's so big and for the world, and if you start connecting her with pussy and really owning the word, reclaiming your own power, connect with her, listen to her. She has such a clear yes and no. If you ask pussy, "What's my name is Cindy," it's you will feel, I will feel it in my pussy. If I say my name is Sonia, I'll feel in my pussy that it's not true. If you start listening to that yes and that no in all of your decisions, it gets so much easier. And if you then know that you have your heart open and you listen to that clear yes and no, this is the first basic information that I teach all my clients. Open heart, connected pussy, it's magic. And it's so easy.
Pure magic. And it gets to be easy. We get to allow it to be easy. So thank you so much, Cindy. Where can people find you if they would like to connect with you?
You can find me on my website. There you can read all about the Pussy Oracles, cindystal.com, or else on Facebook and Instagram under the same name. There, I think those are the easiest ways.
Beautiful. And the links will be in the show notes. So thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for tapping in. You can also find me, Mama T Energy, on Instagram, Facebook, mamateenergy.com, and Tiara Janae on Facebook. Instagram and TikTok is Mama T Energy. There you go. Let's say these things correctly. And with that, I hope everyone has the most powerful and magical and divinely feminine day. Love you
Yeah.
so, so much.